Andrew Williams.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I take a call on the exclusive economic zone and continental shelf. And Mr Chair, New Zealand First will be supporting Part 2 of the bill, as we did Part 1 of the bill. And in that respect, as we have said in this House before, we will support what we believe is good policy, but we will oppose bad policy. In this case, in New Zealand's interest, we believe it is in the interest of New Zealand and of this Parliament to pass this bill in its entirety and for the country to get on with it. This has the potential to increase the economic performance of this country. With the fifth largest economic zone in the world, we owe a level of responsibility to the people of New Zealand to ensure that there is an act in place to cover the 200-mile economic zone, and this bill, when it becomes an Act of Parliament, will do that. Now, we do understand, that, of course, that there are some reservations on the part of some parties over some of the clauses and some of the terminology. But in many cases it is very much just words and in a sense pedantics over the determination of how the wording is best put. We do believe, however, that it achieves the outcomes that we are seeking in the main, and in the vast majority of cases it serves the purpose that we are seeking. I also would like to concur with other members of Parliament who have made comment that the officials have done a great job through this whole process, through the local government committee process over this year. This has been a very, very significant part of the local government environment committee's work this year. A huge number of submissions from a great many organisations, and the officers and officials have done a great job of bringing all that information together, reporting back to the committee and providing very, very good feedback and information and advice as to how those various submissions impact on the overall parameters of the bill. Likewise, I would like to thank the Minister too for her input in being able to address many of the concerns and issues that were raised by the committee, agreeing to some changes where appropriate, agreeing to some wording changes to give effect to some of the concerns that were there. While not meeting all the concerns, we believe again that it goes a sufficient way to meet the vast majority of the concerns of those who were submitting and those who were raising the concerns. We are somewhat appeased by the fact that the Commissioner for the Environment, Dr. Jan Wright, has advised that she has a level of support for the bill now that many of the concerns have been addressed, and that is very, very heartening to hear that in her role she does feel that the bill now has great merit to move forward. And for many of the submitters to the bill and many of the environmental organisations, I'm sure that they likewise, while still having some concerns about the marine environment, must be greatly relieved at some of the changes that were made to assist. In terms of New Zealand's economic performance, we do have a huge responsibility here. When you are talking about the vast area of ocean, and that the New Zealand landmass which we inhabit, or the above the surface landmass, is something like only 5% of the total area of the zone that is taken up by this exclusive economic zone, and this massive water out there, then you can appreciate the implications that it has for the New Zealand economy. When we look at, and we looked at many submissions in many areas of the EEZ, which included areas like the Chatham Rise, and I hadn't realised how significant the Chatham Rise is and how vast it is, and the resources that are out there that potentially could have a huge impact on the New Zealand economy, and likewise many of the other areas around the coast which were brought to our attention, and the potential that is there, providing it is done in an environmentally sustainable way, in a very sound and secure manner that ensures that the environmental concerns and protections are there, and that the environment is given the benefit of the doubt should there be any grave concerns about any planned projects. then certainly we will want to assure the New Zealand First Party that those procedures are in place. We believe the wording now provides sufficient safeguards, sufficient methods, Mr Chair.
Andrew Williams.
Sufficient for the Environmental Protection Agency to effect what is the will of the government, what is the will of this Parliament, to ensure that the economic zone is properly policed and properly administered, and that there are also options for appeals through the High Court and through the Court of Appeal, and also with some aspects being handled by the Environment Court in terms of some of the applications, to ensure that there are also the legal sides for recourse should that occur. Mr Chair, we constantly hear in this Parliament the need for increased economic development in this country, for more jobs, for more opportunities for our young people, for our people to have a secure workforce. Our marine environment does offer the opportunity in New Zealand to provide that. We are very, very fortunate as a small country of 4.5 million people to have such a vast marine environment out there and a potential resource that could greatly impact on the well-being of the people of New Zealand. We have to therefore do all we can to both protect that environment and make sure it is there for future generations, but at the same time make sure that the resources that are available there that can be properly taken and properly used in a proper manner are done so for the benefit of this country. So New Zealand First will be supporting this bill.
I call Catherine Delahunty.
Thank you, Mr Chair.